watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Well, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. Before we take a look at the forecast, some sad news in the sports world. Basketball Hall of Famer Jerry West has died. The Los Angeles Clippers made the announcement this morning. West's wife, Karen, was by his side when he passed away. Jerry West, named Mr. Clutch, went into the Hall of Fame as a player in 1980 and again as a member of the 1960 U.S. Olympic men's basketball team in 2010. He will be enshrined for a third time this year as a contributor. He was a 14-time All-Star and a 12-time All-NBA selection, part of the 1972 Lakers team that won a championship. And as many know, he is the man behind the silhouette that is the NBA logo. All right, let's talk weather now. Meteorologist Damon Madsen joins us now with the latest check on the forecast. Damon, the sun is shining, but what's next?
Well, Mark, I'll say this. We've had no complaints so far this week. Over the first couple of days, it's been all near perfect. Comfortable, not too warm by any means. But today, we do start to see the subtle changes that are going to take shape as we get into the end of the week. And the first of those is the fact that we're warming up at a little bit of a quicker pace already out there today. We've had plentiful sunshine with a few clouds mixed in, and we've had a little bit of a light southerly wind, and that southerly wind is the key component changing things up today. We have temperatures not bad by any means, lower to middle 70s as you go north and west, toward the upper 70s through DC, Waldorf pushing 80 already, and before the day is done, we are going to make a run into the 80s. And again, that is not all that bad for the early afternoon considering we're in mid-June, but it is a faster pace. Here it is. Everybody is about 5 to even 10 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. So it is the start of this warm up, this heat up, if you will, as we progress over the next couple of days. It's not just going to be warm, it is going to be downright hot, but we're not quite there yet. Today, again, we'll make that run into the lower and middle 80s by the 3 to 4 o'clock hour under plenty of sunshine. There will be a few clouds here and there, but nothing much we have to worry about. Now, speaking of Thursday and Friday and those rising temperatures, how hot is it going to get? And is there now a threat for strong severe storms on Friday? We'll have a full look at your forecast coming up here in just a bit.
Damon, thank you. 3 people injured in 2 separate shootings just 20 minutes apart in Northwest D.C. The first shooting happened near Kansas Avenue and Shepherd Street in Petworth. Police believe that the man is linked to the shooting that sent a man to the hospital with critical injuries. They say he left on a black and white electric scooter. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. Now, a man and a woman are also recovering after being shot in Northwest D.C. According to police, 2 groups shot at each other on Colorado Avenue. Cars in the area had windows shot out, and nearby neighbors reacting to the violence.
Around 7 or 9 gunshot. I listened to some for the whoosh, whoosh.
Your head got to be on a swivel. If it happened in the daylight, you know it's going to happen at night.
Police say they're searching for the groups. Both were reportedly last seen running down Georgia Avenue. Well, today, Mayor Bowser and other D.C. leaders are sitting on a panel to discuss ways to revitalize downtown D.C. and bring more people to the district. D.C. News Now's Jean-Marie Sissay is in Gallery Place with more.
Now, you'll find a lot of empty spaces like this in Gallery Place, Chinatown. And now leaders are looking to revitalize D.C., especially with the recommitment of the sports team. The Revitalized D.C. plan includes the $500 million pledge to invest in Capital One Arena and surrounding neighborhoods. Originally, it was due to the Wizards and Capitals leaving, and now that they're staying, the goal is the same, to attract and retain visitors and businesses.
We won't have as many people working in the downtown, but we still need to replace those people with activities, destination events, family engaging entertainment as well. We need to change how many office spaces to residential spaces.
With the help of the Gallery Place Chinatown Task Force, the mayor shared during Wednesday's Biz Now panel that they're looking to convert some underutilized office spaces into housing and allowing public input to convert those spaces into other things.
We say to anything. It could be a hotel, it could be family entertainment.
She also says they have a goal of gaining 15,000 new residents. For many, crime in the district is a concern, but the mayor says it's going to take effort from everyone.
We've seen crime trending down across the city with nearly 30% drops in violent crime, and that number has been more significant in Chinatown. And we know there's more work to do.
Now, all of these plans are included in the mayor's budget, and the council will have their second budget vote today. For now, reporting in Northwest D.C., I'm Yamari Sase, DC News Now.
All right, thanks to Yamari. That second vote from D.C. council members is actually happening right now. The budget will head to the mayor's desk later this afternoon. Council is voting on a legislative version of the budget by mid-July. And council members adjusting the budget since the mayor's proposal. That includes restoring $70 million in funding to early childhood education. The new budget also restores more than $25 million to schools' budgets, while the council's budget would increase property taxes from 85 cents to $1 for properties worth over $2.5 million. Also happening today, the Port of Baltimore is officially back open for business. Transportation officials say the full port is reopening today. This comes after the shipping lane reopened on Monday. It is 3 months after the deadly Key Bridge collapse that shut the port down entirely. Governor Moore will hold a briefing about the reopening this afternoon. That begins at 2. Also developing now, an investigation is underway after a noose was found on a walking trail in College Park. The discovery was made a week ago. Someone reported finding a yellow rope with a noose knot along Paint Branch Trail by College Park Community Center. We're going to have more details coming up as more information comes in. Well, 2 Virginia schools named after Confederate officers are at the center of a new lawsuit. It is the latest chapter in a back-and-forth controversy over school names that has received national attention. Max Marcilla has the story.
There was a short time where we would say we're here at Mountain View High School, but that's no longer the case. The name Stonewall Jackson High School was changed in 2020 as many Virginia school districts and governments were pushed to address the long-standing impact of the Confederacy. Schools and highways were renamed, statues were taken down, but last month the Shenandoah County School Board restored this school's old name. The signs and lettering are back, but there's a new fight, this time potentially heading to court.
We feel that the actions there in Shenandoah County are an egregious step backwards.
Reverend Cozy Bailey is the president of the Virginia NAACP. On Tuesday, the organization, along with 5 SCPS students, filed a lawsuit against the school board. It alleges changing the name back to Stonewall Jackson High and restoring the name Ashby Lee Elementary is discriminatory and harmful, a quote, message of black inferiority, and allegedly violations of the First and 14th Amendments.
Mr. Barlow.
Yes. This lawsuit comes after a 5-1 vote by school board members to turn Mountain View and Honey Run back to Stonewall Jackson and Ashby Lee.
His character, his loyalty, his leadership, how godly man he was.
With some board members praising Jackson, a prominent Confederate general and slave owner, others blaming the process taken by the previous board a few years earlier.
This is just one part of our ugly past that we have to acknowledge.
But rising 12th grade student Brianna Brown, a plaintiff in the suit, and her mom Heather say they want the school to feel welcoming to everyone.
That name was used in the past to deter black people from attending that school. And it's basically doing the same thing now.
Reporting in Shenandoah County, Max Marcilla, DC News Now.
Well, June is National Home Ownership Month, and while it's the American dream to own a home, new data shows that many Americans are discouraged about buying one. Research done by the KB Home and the Harris Poll show that only about 1 in 3 people know key facts about financing a home, and it also revealed that many Americans believe that you can't qualify for a mortgage with a credit score in the 500s. One real estate expert says there's still a way you can own a home.
People, the home becomes their most valuable asset. Quite a few different programs out there that people can participate in that require much less down.
Well, the survey also reveals that more than half of people believe that mortgage rates are at an all-time high, but the highest rates on record were in the early 1980s, and in 1981, a 30-year fixed rate peaked at 18.6%. Well, the 90s are making a comeback in D.C. The famous HF Festival is returning after nearly 20 years to Nationals Park in September. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg takes a closer look.
From 1990 until the early 2000s, HF Festival brought tens of thousands of people to D.C. in what could only be described as
mayhem.
Bob Waugh was the brains behind the operation as assistant program director at alt-rock radio station WHFS. The HF Festival showcasing big-name bands and newcomers.
It was kind of a gift to our listeners, an opportunity for us to create something that was fun and affordable and absolutely crazy at times.
Local promoter IMP got the rights to the name and is bringing it back.
With the resurgence of people being interested in 90s bands, it just seemed like a natural thing to give it a go.
IMP Director of Communications Audrey Fix-Schaefer attended many HF festivals herself.
What I loved was part discovery and part going for bands that I knew. And that to me is the beauty of a festival.
A number of people online aren't happy about the prices. A single ticket at the lowest tier costs $175 after fees, and a single ticket the next level up is nearly $300 after fees.
People have a budget, and we try to keep it as tight as we can. There's a cost to having a ticketing system.
Waugh, a consultant for this year's festival, expects a middle-aged crowd from the past mixed with younger music lovers.
It's a pretty solid lineup, I think, and it'll be interesting to see the meeting of the tribes, so to speak.
Reporting for DC News Now, I'm Daniel Hamburg.